Okay, so we're diving deep today into something I think a lot of people are curious about,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to, just overall health and longevity,
Right.
and that's magnesium.
Yeah.
Magnesium. You see it everywhere now. It seems
Yeah.
like every supplement company out there is like, oh, magnesium this, magnesium that. So
They're all over it.
what we want to really figure out for you is if you are looking at magnesium
Yeah.
to,
Mm-hmm.
support your brain, your body long term,
Right.
what are the forms that actually stand out
Yeah.
as being beneficial?
What's the real deal here?
Yeah, what's the real story here? So to help us with this, we're going to be looking at an article called
Yeah.
Magnesium for Longevity,
Yeah.
Brain and Body Health.
Nice.
So in our mission in this deep dive today is to extract the most important information
Mm-hmm.
About magnesium and its role in longevity,
Ooh.
hopefully to give you a much clearer understanding
Yeah.
of which forms might be good for you
Exactly.
and why they might be beneficial
Right.
without, making it feel like you're wading through
Absolutely.
a scientific textbook.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Oh,
You
I-
want to make this approachable.
Approachable, right?
So you can actually use this information.
Yeah, so let's jump into it. When we're thinking about living a long and healthy life,
Mm-hmm.
why should magnesium even be on our radar?
Yeah. Why is this so important?
What makes it so important for us?
Well, this is what's so interesting. The article really highlights that magnesium is involved in over 300
Wow.
different enzymatic reactions in your body.
It's huge.
Just think about that for a second. Over 300. And many of these are absolutely fundamental to how we age well.
Okay.
We're talking about how your body generates energy, how it repairs DNA, the very code of your cells,
Right.
and how efficiently your mitochondria, those little powerhouses inside your cells, are functioning.
Hmm.
So as we get older, these processes can naturally become less efficient. And making sure you have enough of those right building blocks, like magnesium, becomes even more vital.
It sounds like if our magnesium levels aren't where they should be, it can really throw things off balance.
It really can. And the article points to some significant connections between low magnesium levels and things we know are major players in the aging process,
Okay.
like increased inflammation,
Right.
which, underlies so many of the health challenges we face as we age.
Of course.
And then there's the increased risk of cardiovascular issues.
That's a big one.
Something I'm sure many of you are thinking about. And perhaps most strikingly, it's linked to cognitive decline and even neurodegenerative conditions.
Wow.
And lastly, low magnesium can negatively impact your metabolic health by reducing how sensitive you are to insulin,
Right.
which potentially can lead to metabolic dysfunction.
So it's not just feeling a bit sluggish.
No, not at all.
It's connected to some pretty
Foundational things,
fundamental.
aspects of your long-term health.
Okay, so now a lot of us probably assume
Mhm.
we're getting enough magnesium through our diet.
Right.
We hear about things like leafy greens and nuts being good sources.
Yeah, those are the classic ones.
Is that enough for most of us?
That's a good question. That's certainly the ideal scenario, and a diet rich in those foods should absolutely be your foundation.
Sure.
However, the reality is for many people, modern diets often fall short.
Yeah, we can see that.
And even if you are consciously trying to eat well,
Mm-hmm.
the magnesium content in our food can be lower these days due to various agricultural practices.
Really?
So while focusing on magnesium-rich foods is crucial,
Okay,
supplementation can be a really helpful way to bridge that gap.
that makes sense.
And this is where the article, I think, is really helpful.
Yeah.
It points out that the form of magnesium you choose makes a big difference
Okay.
in how well your body can actually use it.
So this brings us to this crucial distinction
Yeah.
between organic and inorganic magnesium salts.
Right.
It sounds like almost a tale of two very different types of magnesium.
In a way, it is. It really is. The key difference comes down to something called bioavailability.
Okay.
And simply put, that's how well your body can actually absorb the magnesium and put it to use.
Mm-hmm.
So organic magnesium salts. And when we say organic here, we're talking about their chemical structure.
Right.
So they're bound to carbon-containing molecules like glycinate, malate, taurate, and citrate. This binding often makes them more easily recognized and absorbed by your digestive system.
Interesting.
The article is very clear. These forms generally have higher bioavailability.
So just to be clear,
Yeah,
this organic is different from how we might label food as organic.
exactly.
It's about the chemical structure.
It refers to the chemical structure
Got it.
that aids in absorption.
Okay, so let's break down these specific organic forms.
Let's do it.
What makes each one Unique and potentially beneficial.
Okay, so magnesium glycinate is often highlighted because it's so well absorbed. And the glycine it's attached to is an amino acid that's known to have calming effects on the brain.
Interesting.
So think of it potentially helping to soothe your nervous system.
Okay.
This makes it a popular choice for people looking to promote relaxation and improve their sleep.
Right.
Then you have magnesium malate, where the magnesium is bound to malic acid, which plays a role in how your body produces energy.
Okay.
So this form is often suggested for supporting your energy levels and potentially reducing muscle fatigue.
And what about magnesium taurate?
Magnesium taurate combines magnesium with taurine,
Okay.
another amino acid that has shown promise in supporting cardiovascular health.
Interesting.
So if that's an area you are particularly focused on for your long-term well-being, this might be a form to consider.
Makes sense.
Lastly, magnesium citrate is a generally well-absorbed form
Okay.
and is often a more widely available, sometimes more affordable option.
Okay.
However, the article does note that it can have a mild laxative effect for some individuals.
Interesting.
So that's something to be aware of.
So it sounds like for better absorption and utilization, we should generally be looking towards
Yeah.
these organic forms rather than the inorganic ones.
Exactly. The inorganic forms, such as magnesium oxide, chloride, and sulfate, tend to have significantly lower absorption rates.
Okay.
Your body just doesn't take them up as efficiently. And they're also more likely to cause digestive issues like an upset stomach or diarrhea.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Right. So when you're thinking about a supplement that your body can readily use, the organic forms are generally the much better choice.
Okay, now there's one form that seems to get a lot of buzz, especially when the topic of brain health comes up,
Right.
and that's magnesium-threonate.
Yeah.
The article we looked at even calls it the brain-boosting hype.
It's definitely gotten a lot of attention.
It has. So what's the real story there?
That's a really important question to address because magnesium L-threonate has definitely generated a lot of excitement, particularly regarding its potential to support brain health and contribute to longevity.
Right.
The main reason for this hype is its purported ability to cross the blood-brain barrier more effectively than other forms of magnesium.
Interesting.
The idea is that by getting more magnesium directly into your brain, it could offer significant benefits for your cognitive function.
And what does the scientific evidence actually say about that?
Well, the article points out that some studies done on animals have shown some encouraging results,
Okay.
suggesting that magnesium threonate might improve cognitive function, potentially help reduce the buildup of beta amyloid plaques,
Right.
which are associated with Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, of course.
And even enhance something called synaptic plasticity, which is crucial for learning and memory.
Wow.
So these findings in animal models are certainly interesting
Yeah.
and have fueled the enthusiasm around this particular form.
But the article also raises some important points
Yeah,
when it comes to the studies done in humans, right?
absolutely. While those animal studies are promising, the evidence in humans is less clear-cut.
Okay.
The article highlights one significant factor. A number of the human studies that have been conducted so far have received funding from the very companies that produce magnesium threonate.
Oh, interesting.
So this naturally raises some questions about potential bias in the findings.
Sure.
And then one 2016 study that they mentioned, which only involved 44 people, found only a very small increase in magnesium levels in the brain. And what's also interesting is that a significant amount of the magnesium that was supplemented was actually excreted in urine.
Oh, wow.
So this suggests that while it might cross the blood-brain barrier to some degree, the overall impact on brain magnesium levels might not be as substantial as some claims suggest.
And then the other human study that was mentioned makes it even harder to draw conclusions, right?
Exactly. That 2022 study combined magnesium threonate with several other nutrients that are known for their potential brain-boosting effects. Because of this combination, it becomes really difficult to isolate what specific benefits, if any, can be directly attributed to the magnesium threonate itself.
So while the underlying idea behind it is appealing, it sounds like the article is saying that the evidence supporting magnesium threonate as a primary supplement specifically for brain health just isn't strong enough.
It's just not there yet to make definitive claims.
Okay, so if we are thinking about taking a magnesium supplement, what's a general guideline for how much we actually need on a daily basis?
The article provides some helpful guidelines here.
Okay.
The general recommended daily allowance, or RDA, for most adults typically falls within the range of 300 to 420 milligrams per day.
Okay.
Now, this can vary slightly depending on your age and gender.
Right.
It's also really important to be aware of the upper safe limit, specifically for supplements, which is set at 350 milligrams per day.
Okay.
Taking more than this amount from supplements could potentially lead to some unpleasant side effects, such as diarrhea and other forms of digestive discomfort.
So more is better definitely doesn't apply here.
Definitely not.
Okay.
In fact, the article suggests that for optimal absorption and to minimize any potential digestive issues, it's generally best to divide your magnesium intake into smaller doses spread throughout the day, rather than taking one large dose all at once.
So this leads us to some really practical things to think about.
Yeah.
If we're considering magnesium supplementation for our long-term health, what are some key takeaways we should keep in mind?
The first and most important thing to remember is that supplements should always be considered as something that adds to a healthy lifestyle, not something that replaces it.
Right.
So the article really emphasizes the importance of prioritizing magnesium-rich whole foods in your diet first and foremost.
Sure.
These foods not only provide magnesium, but also a wide range of other nutrients that contribute to your overall longevity.
It's a package deal.
It is.
You get it all.
And when you do decide to consider supplementation, the recommendation is to choose those well-absorbed organic forms that we talked about earlier.
Right.
Glycinate, malate, and taurate are highlighted as particularly good choices.
Okay.
It's also really crucial to be cautious about taking unnecessarily high doses. Your body can only absorb a certain amount of magnesium at a time, and any excess will simply be eliminated by your body.
Right.
So taking extremely high doses isn't going to give you extra benefits,
Right,
and could potentially lead to those unwanted side effects we mentioned.
And we should also maintain a healthy level of skepticism when we come across those really bold claims about specific forms, like magnesium-threonate being some kind of miracle cure for brain aging.
Yes. The article really reinforces the need to maintain that healthy skepticism, especially when you see those kinds of exaggerated claims.
Right.
While the research into specific forms like magnesium-threonate is ongoing, it's important to base your decisions on strong, well-conducted scientific evidence, rather than just relying on marketing hype. And finally, it's vital to remember the bigger picture. Magnesium is just one piece of the overall puzzle when it comes to longevity.
It's not a magic bullet.
It's not a magic bullet. It works best when it's part of a nutrient-rich diet.
Right.
Combined with regular exercise, getting enough quality sleep, and managing stress effectively.
So just to bring it all together for our listeners, what are the main points about magnesium and longevity?
Okay, so first, magnesium plays a truly vital role in supporting healthy aging, impacting everything from how your brain functions to how your body manages energy.
Got it.
Secondly, when you're considering supplements, the organic magnesium salts are generally much better absorbed by your body compared to the inorganic forms.
Okay.
Thirdly, while the idea of magnesium-threonate specifically boosting brain health is interesting, the strong claims you might hear are not yet well supported by robust human research. The article suggests that for those of you looking to potentially support your longevity through supplementation, a multi-form magnesium supplement that includes a variety of these well-absorbed organic salts might be a practical approach to consider.
Okay.
And finally, and perhaps most importantly, no single supplement, including magnesium, can replace the foundational benefits of a well-rounded lifestyle.
Of course.
That includes good nutrition from whole foods, regular physical activity, and effective stress management.
This has been such a helpful deep dive.
It's been great talking about this.
I feel like it clarifies a lot of the information out there.
I hope so.
Gives our listeners some solid guidance.
Yeah, and it's all about, understanding the evidence so you can make informed choices for yourself.
So this brings us to the end of our deep dive into magnesium. We really hope this has helped you, our listener.
Absolutely.
As you navigate the world of magnesium supplements.
It's a jungle out there.
For supporting your long-term health. Considering the incredibly complex way all the different factors in longevity interact, what other seemingly small nutritional elements might be playing a much more significant role in our health than we currently even understand?
That's a great question.
It's definitely something to think about as you consider your own dietary habits and maybe explore further.
Right.
We would love to hear your thoughts and any further questions you might have about supplements.
Yes, please share.
That support longevity.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Thanks, everyone.